Stadium. He's an astronaut, by the way. Can't do it with chemical rockets. So the question is, who do we speak to first? Do we educate the public about the advantages of space power? Do we educate the children about the advantages of space power? Or do we educate Congress about the advantages of space power?
Yeah, so it's a bigger problem than that. All right, I was on Bill Maher 2 Fridays ago. One person. My first time on the show, actually. I think they had very low expectations for me at the panel stage of that show, because they're politicians and, you know, they sharpen their teeth. And so I try to always give a positive outlook to things. And I forgot they were talking about some race issue somewhere, and they were talking about the N-word. So I heard them say N-word. I said, N-word, you mean nuclear? And all they just stopped. It's a word people are afraid to use. Do you know the MRI machine? That's a nuclear magnetic resonance imager. But they knew people wouldn't go into a machine with the word nuclear in it, so they had to take the word nuclear out. They changed the name to magnetic resonance imager. It was all about nukes in there. And so I just showed you evidence that there are people who are afraid of the number 13. So clearly, in this community, there are then people afraid of nuclear. And so part of it is they fear what they don't understand. It's not unique to America. In France, they're afraid of foods that have been irradiated. They call it Frankenfood, which is a pretty cool title for it, I think. But they fear it because they don't understand it. And that's common. One might even call it an expected human trait. So it's all about education at this level. People feared splitting the atom. They feared knowing the atom. They feared flying. They feared, you know, at some point, you need to get people comfortable enough with crucial technologies that will enable tomorrow so that you can just waltz right on past that barrier. And so other things, if you look at how many people died from coal mining versus having anything to do with the nuclear power industry, there's no contest there. Hundreds of thousands of men have died in coal mines. And they're still dying, especially in China. You don't even hear about most of those that take place. We almost had a case just recently with the Chilean miners. I tweeted about that. I was very disturbed by that story. I was disturbed. How many miners were there? Like 30? What was the number? 31. People paying attention to the news cycle. So if the miners get distracted, and they're the heroes, and they're on the Today Show, and I say, they're not heroes. They're victims. The heroes are the engineers that figured how to get them out. Where are they? Are they on the cover? Is there a parade for them? Are they on the Today Show? You don't even know their names. And one of them was a NASA engineer, okay, who advised on some of these techniques. If you pay close attention to the news cycle, you could probably extract their identities. But that's not what was handed to you. That's not what was celebrated. And so, no, it's not good to be stuck in a mine. But I think we've lost our definition of what a hero is. A hero is the person who saved you. Now, if hero also means for victims, okay, that's a new definition for the word. Fine, then everybody's a hero, okay? Okay. So it's all about education. And I think if we had understood the value of engineering and science better, that whole story would have been spun completely different. We'd be celebrating the scientists and engineers as the heroes of that story.
A quick add to that. A lot of the debate also was using the fear and not being purpose to advance nuclear propulsion. So having China come in first.
Oh yeah, so yeah, fear that an adversary will do it before you. That works every time. Every time. And I have whole chapters in my next book on these drivers. The fear factor. It's the, I don't want to die, because they're going to do it before me. And I don't want to die for, right? So, but yeah, that's my answer to your question. Sure. We'll take 4 more here. Anyone from the peanut gallery? You guys are cool? Even the back row? You got one right here? Okay, go. Does that mean we need a really smart adversary? Yeah, the best kind. Here's what happens. If you get really, really smart adversaries, then it's intellectual jousting at that point, and you're not even thinking about war. Right? It would be like the College Bowl mind contest, but for the world. That'd be awesome. What kind of world that would be? Geeks running the world. That'd be kind of cool, right? 4 more questions here.
David, I just have a very question. I read an article about the solar activity affecting the decay rates of radioactive isotopes, and I was wondering what you thought.
Solar activity affecting which isotopes? Oh, yeah. I read about that. There's a paper that suggests that the solar cycle somehow influences the radioactive decay rate of some elements. And I'm completely intrigued by that. I have no understanding of the mechanism for that. And it's intriguing. If it's true, it's really fun and intriguing. It'd be a new physics to include in our understanding of radioactive decay. But I have no understanding. Mystery of the universe. Universe brings mysteries. That's a good thing, like I said. And given what I just said tonight with dark matter and dark energy, that won't be the biggest of our problems trying to solve in the universe. Yeah.
My name's first, I just want to say thanks for coming, because it's sometimes hard to find intellectually stimulating speakers in this area.
Intellectual stimulation back that I get from this audience. So you guys are, I feel you out there. I feel you. It's a good feeling, okay? All right, go.
First question, actually, it's going to be a quick answer. It's kind of late. I have 2 tests tomorrow. Can you give me a little note from my professors?
You want a hall pass? I may have been signed something to...
But the second question is...
No, actually, I'll sign a statement that you were here, but if you get a lower grade for having attended than you would have otherwise gotten for not, in 10 years, you won't even remember that you took that test. Ask anyone who's been out of college for 5 or 10 years. We have no memories of any tests at all. But you know something? We remember everything we were doing when we knew we should have been doing something else.
So the question I have is a little bit more specific. You talk a lot about the death of the intellectuals within, especially American society, science and engineers and things like that. And you told us a lot about the problem, but maybe you're sort of preaching to the choir here, because most of us are scientists and engineers. But what can we do to help be the solution, other than being scientists and engineers? How can we help make things better for the world at large, helping bring more people into what we do?
Right, because not everyone has a TV show.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Obviously, you're doing very well at this. If you get this
So I'm here for the scientists and engineers among you, and many of you are not that. Your spouse that came in or from the community and heard that I was here. We got dragged here by a friend. Who got dragged here? Just let me know. You guys said, okay. So how many of you regret that? You were partly asleep there earlier, so you're head. I pay attention to my audience here. Was she not half asleep on your shoulder? Was she like leaning on your shoulder for a half hour? anti-intellectual atmosphere that has prevailed somewhere. We should take collective blame. Because what began to happen, I saw, is that the sort of the intelligent class, if you want to call it that, began to separate itself from the rest of society. To almost as though they were too good for other people. People who were pumping their gas, people who were at the checkout, people who serve society in all the blue and pink collar jobs that are out there. And that created a divide that had backlash. And I think the backlash was people stopped thinking that educated, smart people represent them or could ever represent them. So they started electing people who they want to have a beer with, rather than people who they would honor in their expertise and knowledge and breadth of command of international politics or society or whatever else. And so I think many of us share that guilt. And so as you go out there, I think if you embrace people who did not do well, not everyone was comfortable with pie, right? Not everyone, there's a favorite comedian of mine who jokes about it. A teacher says, what's the value of pie? He said, oh, about $1.89 at the local diner. You know, that was his extent of math. So some of it is just be inclusive in who and what you are in society. And if someone doesn't know something, they're not stupid, they may just not have the opportunity that you had, or access to little things like in your family, were there books at home when you were a kid? Some people, there are no books, so there's not even a thought that you'd ever go to college, because there's like a farm job waiting for you, or you got to raise your little kids, your little brother or sister. So I think as a nation, we need to feel a sense of participation in a joint fate, because we're important as a nation, not the haves and the have-nots. As long as we're the haves and the have-nots, either financially or intellectually, we're just going to be treading water.
Thank you.
Oh, please.
Yes, I'm Daniel Busby, international business major. Saw you on Colbert Report back and in that episode, you discussed
which one? The latest time I was on Colbert?
Talk about Mars, mission to Mars.
Well, that wasn't the very latest time I was on Colbert. Yeah, the very latest time was 3 weeks ago.
I missed a lot of episodes.
So you missed that one. Okay, that one.